Hello and welcome to another video from Sandra at SandrasCraftStudio. Today I'm going to be showing you a different type of fold to make one of our 50 Festive Friday cards. This is a fold that I haven't done for a long while. However, when I was making the list to get this group started, it was one that had to be on there. So let's get down on the craft table and I'll show you what we're going to do. Here we have some squares. I'm just going to do a couple of them. It's going to be a type of origami fold. Now I want to make sure that you can actually see me on here. We have a bone folder as well. Now the bone folder, you want to be careful when you score the lines because you don't want to tear the paper. Now first of all, I'm going to do with the big one and then I'll do with the little one. We're going to take our good side and leave it on the outside and we're going to crease it in half. Okay, I like to do it with my fingers, but I take the bone folder from the middle outwards and middle outwards, trying to avoid that middle point because that's going to be, it will be the weakest point if you keep scoring it too many times. We're going to open it up and score it the other way and do exactly the same. So we now have a cross. We're now going to score them diagonally as well. So if we do to the diagonal and put my finger to the middle and outwards, I'll burnish that one and burnish that one. Okay, and then open it up and turn it and do exactly the same the opposite direction. Okay, so we're matching the corners. If you run your finger down to the middle and out, you should find that all the edges will be level. So I go out from the center and out from the center, and then open it up, and we've done all of those four. So we've got that way as a cross, and we've done the diagonals as well. So holding it as a square, okay, with the half a square there, you are going to hold this and you're going to poke in this side and shut it, and poke in this side and shut it. Now that's going the opposite direction, so I'm just going to burnish that, but again I'm not touching the center there. I'll go either side of the middle. Okay, now these two little pieces, these flaps, are just going to come in from the top there, so you want that top to be a nice point and it's going to match the center fold. I've done some origami boxes recently, and this is very similar to that, but again I'm putting my finger on the top, so I'm not going to burnish that. If you burnish that point too many times, you will kind of make a little hole there, and we don't want a little hole on the top of the tray. Okay, so I'm pressing that gently with my finger first, and then I'm going to run the bone folder along there like so, and that is all there is to it. It's just one little piece like so, and then you're going to keep that. You're going to make them in different sizes. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm just going to zoom the camera in for you so we can come in a little bit closer. And I'm going to put that aside at the top there, and I'm going to do that once more. So the good side, the side that you want to see, is on the outside. So fold that in half. I put my finger in the center and burnish either side. And then we can turn the other way and do exactly the same. That way and that way. And then we're going to do through the diagonals. So we'll come to the point at the top there. Make sure that this is level, and I just press that with my finger, and we'll burnish that either side. And then we'll turn it and do exactly the same the other side. So you folded it in half both ways. So left to right, and that's our piece. So we leave it folded in half, and holding one part very firmly, I'm just going to push this piece in down there. And I'm going to push this piece in down there. Okay, so the point now, that will be when it makes a nice little crisp point on the top. So we want to burnish down that side and down that side, making sure it's all nice and flat. Okay, and then these pieces, these flaps, are going to come in and turn on that point and come down. So it makes it look a little bit like a little kite, and it's going to line up with that center fold. So I kind of want to keep that. I'm on a smaller piece now, so it does get a bit tricky on the centers, so the smaller pieces, sorry. So I'm just going to hold that with my fingernail and then bring that flap in. So the smallest is definitely the hardest. Okay, so I'm showing you the hardest bit on here. Okay, and we've got that. And again, I'm not pinching, I'm just pinching that top piece on there. Okay, so I have some more at the back here. Here's an even smaller one that I've got part way through just to save on time, and I'm going to bring that one in as well. I'm bringing this to the center line, and because it's so small, obviously my fingers are covering quite a lot. You're going to put your fingernail in the point and bring this into that middle fold. So it'll just come into the tip there like so. Okay, so that's the smallest one, and then this one I've just got part done as well, so I'll poke the side in there, poke the side in there. Okay, so it's nice and crisp at the top. I will burnish these pieces here, and then fingernail to the top and bring that side in and down, and then burnish this one piece. I'll put the fingernail in, bring that down so that they meet in the middle, and then I'll burnish that side as well. Okay, so now we have 5 little pieces, and I'm going to line them up like little soldiers here. You can do your tree as many layers as you like. Just bring you out a little bit. So your tree can be whatever size you want. There is a reason that I am holding this on the sideways on here. I am just going to grab a piece of grid paper, because I think it might be easier on here. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to line them all up in the order that we're going to have them. Now each of these is going to just slot in inside the other. So if you use your grid paper or your mat, I'm just saving the glue getting on my mat here. Sorry, can you see that okay? I'm just going to make sure that this point is going to go just inside there, and you want that to be a regular distance all the way down, so that the distance that one will go right to the top is just under the ½ inch. So if you leave that point, I'll point to it, if you leave that point there on a line and then this one on a line, you can keep them all parallel. Okay, so it's just to get it nice and even. If you've got a good eye, then you might not need to do that. So I'm going to just pop a little bit of Tombow in the top point there, just to hold those together, just in the top. I've got a little handle here nearly to pull on, so I'm just going to hold this tiny one. It's going to be the first one will be the hardest. So that's on a line, and I'm going to bring this one in and match it on the other line. Okay, and then I'll press them down. So this is on this half line, and this is on the inch line, and the other ends are matching as well. So there's the first one, and then we'll do exactly the same with this. So just test it. If I hold that on the 1 inch line, this is going to come in and match up on the ½ inch line. Okay, so just put some adhesive a little bit bigger on here, we get to the bigger sizes. Okay, so I'm going to hold that one steady. You've got more to get hold of now as well, so after that first one's done, it does make it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to have those on the, this is on the 1 inch and this is on the ½ inch. I do just say that nature is not perfect, so don't feel you've got to have it absolutely pristine, because trees are lopsided. Nature is not perfect. I'm just going to line that one up on there, and that one comes in with both of them, those ones and those ones lined up top and bottom, and this one here. Okay, that's the largest one. So you could leave your tree like that at four squares, or you can go to 5. You can even take them down to 3. You can do them on little note cards or tags. So it's entirely up to you what you would like to do with that. And there is our tree, and it's complete. I'll just bring that back on camera. So there's one already done. Here's one I did earlier. So I have another one here. And if your measurements are exactly the same, I can't remember what size I did on this one. If your measurements are exactly the same, you can actually put some ribbon down the middle here with a loop, and then stick the two together back to back and make a decoration, so you can have it hanging from your tree. It'll be a 3D decoration. Okay, so that's the, you do need to make sure you've got the same measurements. I don't think I had the same measurements on here. So one of these is going to go on my card. So I'll just walk you through that card now. For my base card, I've taken a sheet of our A4 cardstock and cut it in half down the centre, and then scored across the middle in half as well to create a base card. My matte layers here, the white is 14.1 by 9.8. I just wanted a small border because the embellishment is going to be very focal on here. So this is another designer series paper from both of these are from the Flowers for Every Season, the Stampin' Up paper that's in the annual catalogue up until the end of June. So these are the two patterns that I've chosen to use today. It's a nice delicate background, and then I've die cut 2 shapes to go on the front here. I wasn't quite sure what shapes I wanted when I started, But when I cut these, I did like the fact that they actually match the point of the tree. So I'm going to place this one down on here. Now, when you the posting for these, it does fold very flat. So all of these pieces stand up. As soon as it's taken out of the envelope, they bounce up again. So it's quite, it might be the thicker level of postage, but it's certainly not a big one. So I'm just going to put some Tombow on here and adhere that down in the middle. Like I said, I've got a nice little handle on here. You've got something to get hold of. So I'll start with my one at the bottom here. I'll just try and not get in the way of the camera and bring the point to the centre. And these we're using the Tombow, the wet glue, you have got the a little bit of wiggle room with that. So I've got it sort of kind of following the point of the die shapes. These are the nested dies. And I say that looks, if I do it from the side, that looks quite a bulky card, but that will fold very flat. I hope you can see that on there. So it does fold very flat in the envelope, but when the recipient gets it, it bounces out. So that's really nice. So all I've left to do on here now is to do a little greeting. So I'm just going to put that to one side for a second. I'm going to be using my Itty Bitty Christmas, which are greetings from the annual catalogue. And I want something small on here. We have a big focal image. So I think I'm just going to put Season's Greetings on this one. So here's my Season's Greetings. So here I have my Poppy Parade ink pad and the greeting here that I'm going to use. Just tap that gently around the outside of my ink pad and move that out of the way. And I will stamp that into the centre. Just press firmly. And it's beautiful. I have my classic label punch here, which is a very small but narrow punch. And most of our punches we do use from the reverse so that we can line the greeting up in the centre of that punch. Hold it nice and firmly, and it just fits this one absolutely perfectly. So I'll just squeeze that and pop that out. So I'll bring that back into the centre. Now I'm going to just put that on there like so. So my foam pads, I've used all of these, so I'm just cutting a couple of pieces from the centre here. And pop those on the back here, like so. Remove those backings and then place that on the centre. So we want to keep the point so we can still see the point there, and just place that on there like so. There we go, and a nice simple card. Those folds are something you can do on a lap tray in front of the TV in an evening. And here's my finished card with the sentiment along the bottom there. Here's the other one that I made earlier, just so you can see before and after, and the back and how flat the back of that is to adhere to your card. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial today. If this is your first visit, please click on the subscribe button below. And if you ring the bell as well, you'll be notified of any future videos as I release them. Contact details will all be at the end of the video and the description below. If there's anything I can help you with at all, then please get in touch with me. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you here again soon. Bye for now.